right, so first play we're going to look at, 2nd and 2, one of the Patriots' first offensive plays.
What was your main takeaway from Wednesday's practice?
I would say it was the offensive line and the fact that it did not look like the train wreck that we saw here last year against the Philadelphia Eagles. Now, that being said, that's not the bar. The bar isn't just to be better than that was, and this isn't the Eagles front that Washington's bringing in here either, but I just thought they showed well today. I thought they held their own in pass protection. Will Campbell, I didn't really see any noticeable losses. I think there was one pressure I jotted down in team drills, but it wasn't like there was a ton of pressure coming from the left side. It's good to see him, Jared Wilson, who I continue to just be really impressed by in one-on-ones and other drills, just stand out. And I think this offensive line is starting to come together a little bit. Some concerns there with Morgan Moses, maybe Garrett Bradbury at center, but the rookies are playing well. Onwenu looks at home again at right guard. So overall, a positive day.
Now, he was also protected pretty well today, and that's kind of what Evan brought up, so I do want to hit on the offensive line because Will Campbell looked pretty good. Mike Onwenu looks pretty good. Jared Wilson looks very good. There's two spots here, Evan, the center position with Garrett Bradbury, and then right tackle with Morgan Moses, where Bradbury was in and out today. Looked like he got benched at one point for Ben Brown. They give him the reps back when 11s come up. But Morgan Moses, not a participant today, at least with that first team. They go with DeMontre Jacobs instead. Are you worried yet about where Morgan Moses is at, or is it really still just a ramp-up period to you? And what do you think about the other holes on the offensive line aside from your Campbells, your Jared Wilsons, and Michael Winners, who look pretty good?
I'm trying to not be worried about Morgan Moses and trust the process here a little bit with Mike Vrabel, because clearly they have a plan in mind for some of these veteran players. Morgan Moses, Carlton Davis. I think if there was a real game on Sunday, both those guys would be playing. Yeah. So I'm trying to trust the process, but at the same time, when Morgan Moses has been out there, it's been better since I'd say the last couple practices that he's been playing in 11-on-11s. But every once in a while, you'll still see speed test his edge from time to time. He's 34. It's year 12. He's in and out of practice. It's not something that it's noteworthy. I'm not worried, but it's noteworthy. And with Bradbury, I just think you know what he is at this point. He's going to get bull rushed by some bigger nose tackles, and he's going to have trouble moving those types of guys and anchoring against bigger, more powerful rushers. So teams are going to target that. I'm sure that they will. It's not so much that he can't move his feet anymore. It seems like it's more like he can't strain and anchor. Once he gets on his skates, he can't put his feet in the ground and stop that penetration from happening. So I'm looking at those two spots, and I feel like I'm more concerned about the veterans now than I am about the two rookies. The rookies are going to take their lumps. First-year players, they're not going to be perfect wire to wire, but I feel pretty good about them taking their lumps and this team growing with Will Campbell and Jared Wilson on the left side moving forward. It's center and right tackle that I'm just not 100% sure where they go from here.
Yeah, I'm still concerned about the center position specifically. And, you look at Garrett Bradbury. Evan mentioned the pass pro issues, which you saw a lot last year on the Vikings tape, right? And then they go out and replace him, in free agency, and they cut him and sign someone new. So, and then they draft Jared Wilson, so you're like, okay, maybe that's the plan at center, but now they need him at left guard, right? So it's Garrett Bradbury or Ben Brown at center. So I don't love either of those options, but we'll see what happens. And then even like the second level still worries me because, you talk about Morgan Moses in and out of the lineup. Who is the backup?
It's the depth.
It's the backup tackles are big question marks. Is it Trey Jacobs? We've seen Marcus Bryant, the 7th-round rookie, start working in more on the right side. I thought he's held his ground for the most part since he's been in there, so that's encouraging. But the depth behind that top unit, and you obviously don't want to go to it, but, it's the offensive line. Guys are going to get banged up. We're already seeing Morgan Moses in and out, so the depth behind those guys is worrisome as well.
Yeah, I like Ben Brown and Marcus Bryant based on what we've seen so far as spot starters. Marcus Bryant, maybe it's a little too early. I'd like to see him in pads first. But Ben Brown, we know what he can be if he's got to play a game or two, but it is concerning if Ben Brown ends up, for whatever reason, being your starting center. I think Vidarian Lowe, once he gets healthier, is more going to be that swing tackle type, but he's also significantly better on the left than he is on the right. I think that one year where he played both, he had his pressure rate allowed was twice as high on the right than it was the left. So it's not the most encouraging thing, but it's also important to address every team has tackle depth issues. So, I'd like to add that context, but that doesn't matter when you end up on your third string right tackle or whatever, and, you have your franchise quarterback back there and you have to account for it. So, like you said, Evan, I'm not concerned yet about Morgan Moses. He's played 14 games 2 years in a row, which for a guy his age is pretty impressive, but we have no idea idea what that number is going to look like this season, and I hope that Mike Vrabel isn't seeing anything he doesn't anticipate. It actually sounded like something new did pop up for Morgan Moses. He was asked, is it something new or is this just a plan? And he said a little bit of both, so, something to monitor.
What I'm looking forward to Friday night, I've been waiting since the day they drafted him to get some tape on Will Campbell in the NFL. It's hard out here during practice to really see what's going on with the offensive and defensive lines when things are flying and you're looking through bodies and you can't really go back and review what exactly is happening on tape. So seeing tape of Campbell, seeing tape of Jared Wilson, and actually being able to sink our teeth into their sets and their hand placement and their feet and all the good stuff, that's going to be really fun. That'll be my Saturday.
Preseason film review?
Film review. That'll be my Saturday. I'll try to keep it PG in my apartment if it's a good film for Will Campbell, but I'm looking forward to it.